Are you having troubles, bub? Having trouble sleeping at night? What's got you so worried? Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Video Call-In Show, that show that invites you to be a live video guest on this channel to talk about, well, the topic or whatever you'd like to. We are on every Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am your host, Jim, and I am here for about the next hour to listen and learn to and about you. Having said that, if that sounds like content that works your way, if it sounds like you'd like to be up on the show, if you've watched my guest cuts and that you want to be one of those, then by all means hit that subscribe button right now, share this stream out, give us a like, and click that notification bell so you don't miss another show. All right. With that out of the way, let's talk about tonight's subject. Tonight's subject was actually brought, and I am remiss in this, but tonight's subject was brought to us by, just a second, let me address the folks in the chat. How are you folks tonight? Good to see you. Wendell Live, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. We've got Susan Hamilton. Susan, good to see you as well. Susan shared my concern. Actually, she brought to my attention that Crystal Vanner, a good friend of the show, is having some troubles. She won't say what it is, and that's fine. She wants to keep that to herself. She's working through some things. So we all wish you well, Crystal. If you're watching, we hope everything works out in your favorite, hon. But good to see you, Susan Hamilton. Eileen, funny you to the farm. Welcome to the show. Creator Spotlight, how are you doing, Mike? Good to see you as well. We've got Doug Betts. Doug, good to see you, my friend. Darian from Germany Travel Personal Guide, how are you? How are you? Viewed this, Tony. Good to see you. Good to see you. Outdoors, well, that's exactly where I was going there a minute ago. Let me totally lost my train of thought, but we're going to regain it now. Yes, tonight's subject is brought to you by, let me call this up. Oops, not anymore. I missed that. I am so sorry. But yes, by the way, tonight's subject is brought to you by Outdoorsy Gal. Chrissy is the sweetest gal amongst the trees. I don't know of a better way of putting that, because she is indeed an outdoorsy gal and just one of the sweetest people you ever want to meet. Let's all congratulate her on 1,002 subscribers. If this is content that you guys dig, I implore you, head on over to Outdoorsy Gal O. Subscribe to her channel. Watch her videos, because she has a way on video of just bringing it down to earth. Chrissy, thank you so much for the subject suggestions. And by the way, any of you can submit a subject. The key is right there in the description. Feel free to give me show ideas. If there's something that I'm remotely interested in, I will absolutely create a show around it. And I want to hear from you guys exactly what that means on your side. Grumpy Vlogger, how you doing, brother? That is Lloyd. Good to see you, my friend. We also have, did I say hello to Mike? Excuse me. Oh, I did. I scrolled right past. Posh Notions, how you doing, Bonnie? Good to see you. Creator Spotlight Show, Mike. Always a pleasure to have you, my friend. We also have Stacy Morgan. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for being here. Raven the Commentator 2001. Good to see you as well. Have I missed anyone at all? If I do, I apologize. Now, all you got to do is make sure that you tag me, and I will do my best to make sure that I know you're here, because I tell you, nothing in the world makes me feel better than to have you folks watching my show, calling in and giving me your opinions, talking about what you want to talk about and the subject matter. And believe me, it is exactly why I do this. And I couldn't have it any other way. So tonight's subject is what makes you worry? What are you worried about right now? And for those of you watching after this is processed, tell me in the comments below. I'll try to pin a comment, try to find out what is making you worry right now. Now, personally, I don't consider myself a worrywart, but I do worry about things. You guys have heard me say it before. I currently worry about my next client. We all worry about, well, when you get to a certain age, some of you youngsters don't have this problem yet, but when you get to a certain age, you worry about your retirement. You know, I know I'll survive, but will I be comfortable? You know, will I be able to live the same standard that I have right now? Oh, I forgot to tell you how to call in. It's real easy. Point your browser to zoom.us, click on join a meeting, and then, of course, enter that meeting number when it asks for it. You will show up. This sounds so scripted. You will show up in my green room, and I will take you first come, first serve, and as applicable. That's my disclaimer as well. Hey, Drone Kings in Darwin, how are you doing, Brad? Patty Broussard, good to see you. Good to see you guys. Just so good to see you. I hope you guys are all having a good evening. I'm having a 50-50. Actually, I had a lot of fun in a couple different chat rooms today, live streams. Sometimes I just can't. There's something I worry about. I worry about overstaying my welcome, because a lot of times what I'll do is I'll get in there and yuck it up, and I try not to do it when it's a serious subject. But sometimes, you know, a little levity breaks the ice, and of course, that makes things more palatable to those who are affected. Laughter is the best medicine, and I would say that as well as it applies to worrying about things. Now, I do worry about my son. Of course, I worry about my granddaughter. I worry about my daughter-in-law. I worry about my parent. Well, my mother, she's passed, but I do worry about my father and my stepmother. I worry about my siblings. You know, and it's not to a degree that that is crippling. And I want to hear from you guys as well, whether or not that is something that that you find crippling, because it should not be. You know, life goes on. We're all in this ball at the same time. We're all doing virtually the same thing because we are humans. Now there are idiosyncrasies in between, but you know how that is. We're all basically performing the same functions. You know, in here, out there. You know, what else can I say? Above and Beyond Drones, how you doing, Jim? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Welcome to the show, Dave, the producer. How are you? Wow, that you jumped off that wacky stream pretty quick. Green Bay Wacky trying some new things. That's commendable. I wish him luck in that. Yes, and Wendell is absolutely correct. He says it is true. Most things you worry about didn't need the worry. That's entirely correct. And Grumpy Vlogger asks if I use a teleprompter. I do use a teleprompter, but I'm not using it for anything but to see my guests. I mean, I'm actually looking at myself right now, which isn't the ideal situation, but it is it is what it is. But when I have a guest on, then I actually can see the guest and myself one on one, and then I know if I'm falling off the camera shot. That's why I feed the guest back to themselves so they can see whether or not they're squared up in the frame. But I don't use it for any sort of textual cues whatsoever. It is literally just so I can look my guests in the eye, and it becomes you know, a greater one-on-one thing rather than looking over to the side, which I can't deal with. And I do, believe me, I'm aware, but it's not something. That's only because I'm a one-man band. But I don't try to do that on a regular basis. I try to focus on my guest. Sometimes you have brain farts, and it just doesn't turn out that way. So yeah, video lines are open, so feel free to call in. Let's go ahead and grab my first guest here. Excuse me. I really should take care of that. Yes, Angel Mina's variety show is here. And oh, WTF Mike, how you doing, bud? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, I know, Lloyd, I apologize. That was a lengthy answer to a very short question. But now you know all of it. No, I also saw somebody up here. Solstice, is that Solstice 11? Good to see you. Swinging stuff. Swinging stuff. Anyone else ask me a question? I do not believe they had. Now, if you do have a question for me or my guests, why, by all means, ask them in the chat. Oh, Brad, you're killing me. Hello, Aura Conklin Art. Good to see you. Now you've been on the you actually popped up on the panel, didn't you? So I will make a moderator. And for those of you who are not moderators, how you become moderators are come on my show. That's how it's done. If we get to chat and we're all good, then I will make you a moderator because I know you will take care of me if the need arises. So all right, let's do this. Like I don't know the sequence well enough already. Here we go. hang on a minute, Angel. All right.
All right. Switch the camera.
Switch the camera? Oh.
Yeah, switch to my camera, Jim.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how are you this evening, Angel? What's new and exciting?
I'm doing well, Jim.
Good. Good. So what worries you, my friend?
Well, right now, I probably would have to say it would either be what YouTube is going to do next, or B, if I'll be able to be leave for my jury duty, because sometimes there are strict people in certain aspects and such that will say, nah, we won't allow you to be relieved. We're ordering you to attend. So I'm kind of worried about that right now, in addition to what's going to happen next with YouTube, because there's been so much changes over the past year or so. And the things that have went away recently was Hangouts. And the next thing that's going to be going away is the messages.
Yep, that's true. That's true. And that's a worthy point right there, is to worry about that sort of thing, especially when you're so heavily invested in this platform. Yeah, you know me. I've had this discussion before, right, Angel?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is worrisome. It is worrisome. And it's the reason I'm looking for alternatives. What were you going to say?
What I was going to say is, are you worried about when the next troll will come? Because I know you have troll a few times of your streams, but are you worried when the next one will come, or are you well heavily secured and ready?
Oh, I'm secure. I don't sweat the trolls. I get them. I know what drives them, and I refuse to give them what they want. So that doesn't worry me at all. What I do worry about, what's that?
I said, excuse me, I just took a humongous burp.
Nice. Yes, what I do worry about as it pertains to trolls is them getting on and saying stuff that they shouldn't be saying. But that's more for my audience than it is for me, because it takes a lot to rattle my cage, if you know what I mean.
That's right. But you may be more suited and used to the trolls and such. But people like myself are not like that, because there's been so many trolls that took some serious things and turned it into a joke. Like last year, there was this one troll that was joking in his way that I felt very well offended and took very serious, because last summer I was riding my local bus station when I was still down in Minnesota. And when the bus was turning into a Walmart parking lot to reach its next bus destination stop, the car backed out and both the bus and the car collided into each other. And I did a stream about it last year, the day that happened, when I finally was able to get back home. But then there was this one troll that took so much time, and I think he did it for so many excessive months, and he was like, "Oh, you're going to jail." He was like thinking that I did the accident, and I just don't like trolls that do that, because what if I got hurt? What if the passengers on the bus got injured? Like what happened to me? And he, and the same troll that did it last year, recently came back to my channel on his other accounts and made a joke about my ankle and saying that when will I be paying the damages to the vehicle? And I was like, not again.
Yeah. Yeah. So you do worry about that, right? Them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when it comes to serious things in a person's life, like an accident, whether it be you riding on a bus or you getting hit by a car, those are the kind of things I don't like being joked about
Yeah.
and such. And I understand he does it, but for me, it's just the kind of thing that tells you how would he feel if I knew who his loved ones were, and he reported that his parents or his loved ones died, because I don't know who this real person is, because a lot of trolls hide behind their keyboard in a form of anonymous way with a
Sure.
made up name and such. And so what if I found out who this real person was, and he made the announcement of his family, one of his family members being dead, and I were to like joke about that in a way and such, would he feel okay? Probably not. That's how I feel about him joking about the whole me going to jail from last year's bus accident, and him joking about when I'm going to be paying the damages to the car when the car was the one that did the hit and run. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do worry about that because I just don't like things that are serious or worrisome to be joked about.
Well, sure, sure. But let me give you a little bit of advice, and you probably already know this. Just ignore them.
Yeah,
They're bad people, and life is way too short to be
yeah,
put off track by bad people. Seriously,
yeah.
Angel. Yeah. So when it happens, just make sure your moderators are on top of it and they take care of it, or you're watching your comments and you're cutting them out and blocking them, and just move on, man. I mean, it's one
Yeah,
of those
that's
things.
one thing I learned last year, and that's what I like just do is try my best and such to ignore them. But last year I didn't, because I was still like new to the whole YouTube thing. Because last year in the month of August, it was like the 6 month milestone of me doing YouTube on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So over time I've been adjusted to it, but that's what I do now is do my best to ignore them.
Good. Good for you. Good for you, Angel. Absolutely. And
Yep.
Patty says, Patty says, I like how Jim handles his trolls. He's ready with the button. Patty, you could not be more correct. When somebody comes on that I don't recognize, I'm waiting, and that's usually when you see me looking over the side. I am just waiting for something to go wrong so I can cut them off, like Angel here. No, I'm just kidding.
I love you, Jim. But the other thing, I'm worrying about is when will David, the producer, clean his stinking producing breath of his with these hashtag not sponsored? Because
Oh man.
you need to clean your mouth out from producing that live stream over the weekend.
I just I just don't get that. Maybe it's an inside joke on your and David's part, but
Yeah, it's a joke because David, the producer, does a lot of like work with people and such. Because I've heard that he has worked a lot with a lot of celebrities, so he must have some form of like career in Hollywood or within the realm of the film industry. Because when it comes to people in the film and entertainment industry, they have a pretty busy life and career with them, and I just do it as a little bit of a joke to like have him take a break and just clean his breath with these.
well, the way he gets guests, you think his breath smelled like lilacs. He's pulling
That
them in. Bad breath, they might just run away. Well, anything else you worry about, Angel? No? Huh? Oh, you finishing your Listerine thing? This is what we call in the business dead air, and that's why I'm going to talk right through it. Can't have any dead air. While you're doing that, I want to say hello to who did I see? Andrew Frying Pan. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I was doing one of these because And these are pretty fantastic because all you have to do is chew it to activate it, and then when it gets into a liquid, you swish it like a mouthwash. But with these, you're able to swallow it.
Oh man, now I gotta change the title of my video to a Listerine how to.
Well, besides what I said, because there are things that worry me and such, but I'm guessing that maybe when I like have that sense, because I also have like a mood disorder, and one of the moods in people is worryiness and worrisome. And I think that there has been times in recent weeks that me worrying about this place being like a prison slash military style, because it kind of feels as though this place is too overly secured and such. And they kind of often feel as though this place feels like a prison where there are so many no rules. Like the one rule that I hate the most here is they say that there are no pets allowed. Even something as simple as a fish tank I cannot have, but they say I can go to the doctors and get a release for like a support animal. But that's just a bunch of work that I have to do for no reason. I mean, really,
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have a pet of my own. And when I was living at my previous apartment, I got a fish tank because I spoke to my property manager at my previous apartment, and he said, "Yeah, fish tank is fine. You don't have to pay a pet fee for it." So I bought a fish tank and had a few fishes to keep me cumbersome and take care of. But here, I am not even allowed to have a fish tank, and I've always wanted to have a cat because
Well, maybe time will change that, Angel. I hope so for you. You know,
because yeah, I still kind of worry because I'm still new to this building.
yeah,
But over time, maybe their trust will gain on me, or I can gain their trust from them.
right.
Because has been a few things happening here that made me not want to trust them, and is making me a bit worried. Like a few weeks ago, during the first week that I was here, I the one of the concierge desk people needed to take a picture of me, but all he said was they need the picture to use as a form of emergency
Yeah.
to know who I am in case anything ever were to happen to me, or if I were to be gone for an X amount of days without giving the property manager here at my apartment notice of where I am, so that way they could try to find me or see what happened to me. But they used my picture as a profile picture on a account that they set up for me when I didn't even give authority. I mean, it's like someone posting a video that you allowed them to film of you when you did not give approval for that video to be posted.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't look at it as something to worry about so much as they've got those rules to take care of, take care of you. I'm sure it's got to be a good reason behind it. So, and like you said, maybe time will change and you guys will build trust between one another, and you'll be able to get that cat.
Yeah, over time we'll only tell
Yeah.
and such. But I have always wanted a cat to comfort with, and maybe I could name the cat David the cat, or maybe Oliver, because I love the old Disney film Oliver and Company.
Oliver would be good. Oliver would be good. Well, look,
But I still maybe might stick to David the cat.
I like both of them, man.
Yeah.
Well, all right, Angel. I'm going to move to the next guest here.
All right, move to your next guest. I'll see you later.
All right, buddy.
One last thing that I will
Sure.
say that I'm worried about is when will the next purge happen on my channel? Because last December I dropped over 30 subscribers, and there's been many channels that lost hundreds of millions, or even less than that. And so when will the next purge happen? Because I know it kind of happens on a continuous basis where it goes down by one or two. But when will the next major purge happen, where they go through all the channels to see who is real, who's a real supporter and who is not, and just remove them from your channel?
Well, I gotta claim ignorance on that. I know it's somewhat consistent, but I can't imagine that they would make it exactly consistent, because people would game the system then. So maybe somebody chat in the chat knows that there's a planned schedule for this sort of thing. I don't normally,
Yeah, I
care or
think
worry
there's
about
a
that.
schedule on a regular basis that they do it, but they just don't want to tell the people's channels
Yeah.
when it. So maybe it happens on a continuous basis all the time.
Well, it
A
does
week.
happen on a continuous basis. It just may not be on a regular basis. Exactly,
Uh,
2 weeks or 1 month. It just doesn't happen that regularly. But yeah, it
yeah.
does happen on a continuous basis. Yeah, and that's just
Yep.
house cleaning. Yeah.
Yep.
So, well,
Well,
all you can do is make sure that.
I'll go ahead and clean the Zoom house and let you bring your next guest on. And David, freshen your breath, please.
All right, Angel. Thanks for being on, bud. Bye bye. Unbelievable. A cat. I didn't know you wanted a cat, Angel. That's awesome. That is awesome. Jesse Mendez, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, my brother. Living, yes. Awesome to have you in the chat room there. Thanks so much. Mia Diva Rodriguez, how are you? I told you I wouldn't be able to forget you. Mia Diva Rodriguez has been a longtime supporter of the channel. She's been with us for a good long time. I won't forget you. Was blind. How are you? Shauna Marie Penny, good to see you as well. Let's see. Have I missed anyone? Lee the Nerd, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Ghana, how are you? Oh, you guys would not believe. You guys would just wait and see what Ghana has done. She has gone and done stuff. And I am touched to the core. I can't tell you how awesome what she did was. And you'll see it soon because I'm going to use it in my channel. I'm just gonna leave it at that. That is the mystery of this evening, is that something wonderful was done, and it's going to be used on this channel. Thank you, Ghana. She's a wonderful gal. If you guys want to check out, go check out Ghana. She's just fun, just fun. Okay, having having said that, all right. Let's bring up our next guest here. And that's going to take, oh, do I have to type all that? Can you hear me? Not yet. She probably doesn't even know.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great so far. How about you, Jim?
I'm doing fantastic. There, I did it. Oh, the typing on your channel name is killing me. Did I get it right?
I might need to put it a little bit shorter than that. If it's a little bit too much of an eyesore for you and for the people in the chat.
Well, I tell you, it's one of those things I worry about because I'm a space bar junkie, and anytime I have to type in a really long word that contains several, I'm just I'm beside myself with I got to hit the space bar. I got to hit the space bar.
Yeah. I want to add one thing, for Mike, in addition to taking freshening your breath, please don't forget to take your meds because, well, you might never know, when an illness comes around whenever you're producing live shows.
That is true. That is true. You've got to be on top of your game.
Yeah.
I know all too well. Hey, when are we going to see you on camera?
Oh, I don't know, when I might see,
I'm sorry, that was random. I didn't mean to do that.
No, it's all right. I mean, usually I'm kind of a bit more self-conscious about my appearance. That's kind of what I'm worried about. What will I look like when I do this, or what would I look like when I do that? Sometimes I do cosplay, and when I go to conventions, everybody just goes around me and says, "Hey, look, nice costume," and then I don't get so worried about that. But
yeah.
Not a lot of people just say, "You know what? You look silly in that costume. You look foolish," and that's and some people, whether they like to admit it or not, they struggle worrying about their appearance all the time. Same thing with worrying about whether that person you're pursuing is going to be your friend or not. Now, a lot of people, especially me on the autism spectrum, they do tend to struggle with social interactions some of the time. in some situations, like say, uh, just making a new friend, for example, because you approach a person that you may not meet, and then you worry about what they think of them, and as a result, you may not get the friendship that you want. But with a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, and when you adapt and overcome, you don't have to worry so much about social interaction. I mean, I've had to learn that the hard way. When I was younger, I was like the center of attention in everything, rather it be like, school things and stuff like that. But as I've gotten older, I stopped worrying so much about being the center of attention and focused on being the person that's interested in learning things. I I am a college student now, and I still carry that, and I still wear that badge proudly to this day.
Well, the only thing I can say to that is, you know, fear of being judged based on appearance or actions is some, and you probably know this as well as anyone, can be
Yeah.
crippling. Am I right?
It
Yeah,
can be crippling, especially for someone who is on the autism spectrum like myself.
yeah, yeah. But you also know that there are places you can go where you'll have uh, zero ridicule, zero
Yeah.
offhand judgment,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And
hmm
of course, it wouldn't come from me. Um, I like to think that that everyone has, well, everyone's an individual, and me with my faults, who am I to judge anybody, right?
Yeah.
Now I know a lot of people don't have
Yeah. It
that
doesn't
same.
matter if you're in a yeah. It doesn't matter if you're in a wheelchair. It doesn't matter if you can't speak. It doesn't matter if you can't hear. It doesn't matter if you have learning disabilities or if you have the acne on your face or if you smell bad. What matters is that you are your own individual,
Mhm,
and you can live to share your own success stories with others.
mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. And I don't know if you've gotten to this point yet, but you get to a point where you start thinking, well, I don't really care about those people who don't understand that, because there's
Yeah, well,
always going to be people that
yeah,
don't understand that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm getting there,
Oh,
and
good.
I know it. I'm getting there, just working on it. And Emmanuel, if you are watching this, I might get into the swing of doing commentaries again. I'm just gonna know that I'm going to be try my best, just fixing whatever mistakes that I have made in the past. And I'm gonna, try to make sure that everything's up to standards, and I'm not gonna care like what anybody else says about me, like they shouldn't be doing this and stuff like that. I'm just not gonna. I'm just not gonna give a single care in the world, and I don't care like what other people say. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm gonna try to at least do anything to make sure that people understand my intent. And it can go for when I'm doing commentaries. I'm gonna try my best to fix those mistakes, and if those mistakes that I made in those commentaries aren't fixed, then oh well, I'm just gonna try something new.
There you go. There you go. That's a good way to look at it, actually.
Yeah,
Sometimes there we do things that there's no making up for it, and a lot of times there's no reason to. Honestly, I mean, they
yeah. There's no forgiveness for that.
right, right. Well, I hope when you decide to that I'm your first show. Unless it's going to be Emmanuel, and I didn't see Emmanuel come in, but hello, Emmanuel, if you're here. We also have ice cold water. Good to see him. Good to see you. But yeah, that's an interesting take on it as well. Pardon me while I sit and think about it and talk about it at the same time. That never works out well for
Yeah.
me. See, I'll be
Yeah,
judged. He's
just
staring at his
monologue.
desk.
I just keep monologuing, even like when you're still talking. Man, I really wish I could stop that.
Yeah, I think you do fine. I think you do absolutely fine. You've never stepped on me that I've been aware of. You know,
No.
there are, well, there are people that just can't uh, can't help themselves but to interrupt, right?
Right.
But I don't get that from you at all, Raven.
Yeah, I try my best to just be as polite as I can and just let them finish their sentence, whatever they're talking about is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think you do a wonderful job. You've been on a couple panels with us, and been on the show a couple times. In fact, I think I just published one your guest cut, your first guest cut the other day. No, that concerns you a lot, though, doesn't it? Makes you worry about what
It
other people think. I mean, is that classified kind of a little?
sometimes I do that. Whatever, like I try to when I just walk around and maybe just wear like whatever I'm wearing, like sometimes I wear professional clothes, other times I just wear like printed t-shirts with all my favorite stuff on it, like just cartoon stuff on it.
Mhm.
A lot of people might think, wow, this person is pretty cool. Some people are just like, what is this little girl walking down here with that t-shirt of Mabel Pines doing here? Like, is she just like some sort of what's the word for? Is she like Peter Pan or something like that, where you're just a child that never grows up?
They would say the same thing about me. Look, I wear a different
Yeah.
hat every night. Some people would make fun of my polos, and hell,
Yeah.
even the fact that Applebee's threw up behind me. There's there's no shortage of things that you could make fun of on anybody. I mean, it's just a matter of common decency that you don't do it. And for those of us
Yeah.
who don't do it, we just have to, blow it off, water off a
Yeah.
duck's back.
Just ignore it. Just ignore
Yep.
like, or if you're like me, embrace your imperfections. Like, you have to embrace the fact that you have pimples on your face. You have to embrace the fact that you don't wear makeup every day. You have to embrace everything, not just the good quality, good the good qualities about yourself. It's all about what's inside that matters.
Wait, do I not have my makeup on? Oh crap. We are lucky. Guys are lucky in that respect. We don't have to worry about
Yeah.
it. Well, it sounds like you're working on it though, and I think that's really important to work on things that
Yeah.
really worry or concern you. And for that, you should be commended. And I wish you the best of luck in that, honestly, because I want to see you. I want to see you in all your glory.
All
And
right. Thank you so much.
sure, absolutely. What anything else worries you or you'd like to talk about?
Well, just a little other thing that you might not, a little, I don't know if many of you might know this, but, I think I've said it before that I want to have a career in voice acting because I've had the ability of like copying voices ever since I was like really small. And I think my dad has told the story once, but I think mom and dad were talking with some British woman, and then I picked up on the British accent just by hearing it. You know?
Oh yeah. Hmm. It's funny while you were talking about that. I kept thinking, I wonder how many people are looking at Jim and thinking he's talking to a cartoon right now. See, we're all susceptible to that.
I like pigs.
Who is that, by the way? Is that a caricature of you, or is that a cartoon character? I
That's
do
Mabel
not.
Pines. Yeah, that's Mabel Pines from Gravity Falls. I use Mabel Pines to kind of represent who I ideally would be. Like, she's really positive and upbeat, and she really likes being and she really likes being around people. And I don't know if you know this about her, but she is boy crazy. She is boy crazy.
That's awesome. No, I don't know anything about that show. Zero. Absolutely zero. I stopped watching cartoons,
Yeah.
many many moons ago, with the exception of Ren and Stimpy. I
Yeah.
was an adult when I enjoyed, because
Yeah.
they didn't come out until I was an adult. So I
Yeah.
really enjoyed Ren
Sometimes
and Stimpy.
sometimes when you grow old, there's a lot of stuff that you can come back to.
Oh yeah.
I remember like back in my early days, I was obsessed with Powerpuff Girls. Just love, love, love Powerpuff
Mm-hmm.
Girls.
Mm-hmm. Well, somebody wants to know. Posh Notions wants to know if you actually sound like her. Oh no, she says she does sound like her. So she's saying that you actually
Well,
sound like
Posh
her.
Notions, you must really like Gravity Falls then, Posh Notions. Believe you me. And I bet I always saw the voice actress behind her too, like Kristen Schaal. And I think she's done other characters and other things like Louise from Bob's Burgers, Jake Jr. from Adventure Time, all that stuff.
So we've got another fan in the house.
Yeah.
Awesome. That is awesome. Well, hon, do you have anything else you'd like to talk about?
Well, like I said, I had just entered college, and I have some advice for those of you who are worrying about college there, or for high school seniors who are worried about college a little bit. My advice is take 1, 2, or 3 classes, just kind of ease into it, make the workload less heavier on you, and don't stress out over a lot of things. Get your assignments done, listen to the teacher, do well on tests, and then you'll do just fine surviving college, just like how you'll do well surviving high school.
That is great advice. Thank you so much, Raven. I know that will help someone out.
All right.
And isn't that what it's all about?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Hakuna Matata.
Exactly. Well, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. And
all right.
And I'm
Thank
with you.
so
I am
much.
with you in your quest. All right.
All right.
All right. Take care, hon.
See you soon.
Bye-bye. All right. So we all worry about something. Am I right? Oh, by the way, I want to say hello, Stacking Stormtrooper. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. We've had some other folks in here as well. Minivan Mike. Hello, hello, hello. There's the Terrier Production. Raider Production. Yeah. So you are Phil Harvey and you're waiting. That's cool. Vaporing Tax. How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Serap. I think I've seen that name before as well. Free to Laugh Now. Welcome. Good to see you in the show. Good to see you. All right, and Brenda, Canada. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Phil, not tonight, buddy. Not tonight. I tell you what, Phil, if you can prove yourself in the chat that that you don't want to make waves, then I'll bring you back up. But not tonight, dude. Not tonight. So listen, guys. Having said that, just remember that to worry about something is completely and utterly natural. We all worry about something. But just don't allow it to consume you. Because once you do, many times you will be literally vapor locked. In other words, you won't be able to do anything about it. So use your worry in a good way, in that perhaps if it's a problem that has come to your attention, figure out how to solve it. Remove the worry, but don't worry for worry's sake. All right, folks, listen, I am going to call it a night tonight. I want to thank everybody, my guests, and of course, all of you folks for being here. As always, you guys are fantastic. Remember, Outdoorsy Gallo, she suggested this tonight, and thank you so much, Chrissy. You guys can suggest topics for the show at any time. My email address is at the bottom of every show, and it's on my About page, on YouTube About page. I want to wish you all a wonderful evening, and remember, treat others as you would have others treat you. If we all did that, it'd be a better place to live, wouldn't it? Thanks, folks. We'll see you live.